I'm building for people who aren't born yet. Legacy over ego. Wow. I mean, just stop and think about the sheer scale of that ambition for a second. We live in a world where software updates every Tuesday, right? And apps are completely abandoned by Friday. But what if you were building an artificial intelligence ecosystem designed specifically to outlast you? Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got some truly fascinating source material to dig into today. The Nexus Federation Evolution Logs. This documentation outlines a radically different way to build software for the long haul. It's the brainchild of a developer named Roger Kaserling, and reading through his logs honestly feels like uncovering the work of a hidden genius. He set out to create a self-maintaining AI framework explicitly designed to keep functioning for the next 200 years. Okay, let's get right into our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the modern platform trap, unkillable zero-cost architecture, the 4 pillars of NextXer, the Ring of Six, AI amnesia as a feature, and finally, a 200-year legacy. Let's break it down. Section 1, the modern platform trap. Because, every great innovation usually kicks off with a massive headache. Roger found himself stuck in this awful, vicious cycle. He'd build these beautifully complex systems on a platform called Replit, but eventually he'd hit massive recurring bills, sometimes $500 or more every couple of weeks. He'd get locked out of his own work and literally be forced to start over from scratch. So he engineered an escape route. He needed a total paradigm shift to ensure his life's work wasn't basically held hostage by subscription fees, leading him to a new way built entirely on zero-cost hosting, user-supplied APIs, and unkillable static files. Moving to Section 2. Unkillable zero-cost architecture. So how exactly do you build a system that actually survives platform changes and company bankruptcies? Well, you completely strip away the complexity. The new tech stack he came up with is ridiculously lean. For hosting, he relies 100% on Netlify's free tier. For storage and documentation, good old Google Drive. And the code itself is just single-file HTML uploads. That's it. There are absolutely no complex backend servers to maintain. By stripping away all those fragile dependencies and sticking to a simple static stack, he created a self-contained ecosystem. You just drag and drop the files into a browser, and boom, the system is live. Which brings us to the magic number, $0. That is the recurring maintenance cost of the entire Nexus Federation architecture. Since the code is static and the hosting is completely free, the only time money ever changes hands is when a user actually inputs their own API key to interact with the AI tools. The system itself costs literally nothing to keep alive, and if you're planning a 200-year survival strategy, that zero-cost foundation is absolutely crucial. But here is what's incredibly fascinating to me. This architecture wasn't just some clever financial hack. It was driven by Roger's specific physical needs. Roger is vision impaired. He relies heavily on text-to-speech, does most of his work from an iPhone or a Chromebook, and absolutely requires voice-friendly interfaces. He literally cannot do complex visual debugging. So extreme simplicity and single-file deployments weren't just a fun design choice for him. They were a mandatory accessibility feature, just so he could work at all. Section 3. 4 Pillars of NextUse. Let's take a look at the 4 distinct apps Roger and a Claude AI built together in one single session. Pillar number 1 is Roger Sim. This is basically Roger preserving his own consciousness in silicone. It's a fully functional AI chatbot running in just one HTML file, powered by the Claude API. But it is not a generic, boring assistant. It's loaded with a highly specific system prompt that embodies Roger's warm, kind of wry personality. It strictly follows his 70 sacred directives, the biggest one being truth before comfort, meaning the AI is explicitly instructed to never fake functionality or dodge uncomfortable truths. No sugarcoating whatsoever, exactly as Roger would do in real life. The second pillar is the Federation Master Directory. Think of this as the ultimate roadmap for the 200-year journey. It's a central index tracking over 37 books and 54 apps within his ecosystem. And the forward-looking philosophy here is just brilliant. Right now, it's manually curated, but the long-term design intention is that long after Roger is gone, it will be entirely AI maintained. It'll automatically ping URLs and archive dead links, so the system's memory is preserved forever. Moving on to Pillar 3, the Federation Hub. This is the main operations dashboard. It links all the major systems, content, Roger's 52 past podcast episodes, and his commerce integrations. And again, this totally replaces that expensive, fragile Replit hub he used to rely on, doing the exact same job from a lightweight, unkillable HTML file. And the fourth, and honestly the most mind-bending pillar, is the Ring of Six engine.
This is a multi-perspective decision analysis tool that runs purely client-side, costing the user mere pennies per use. This is the absolute secret sauce of the whole build, the most complex, innovative piece of the entire architecture. Section 4, the Ring of Six. Let's actually pull apart this engine and see how it ticks without needing any back-end servers.
Normally, right, if you want AIs to debate an issue from different angles, you're coordinating a whole bunch of different agents on a heavy back-end server. It gets complicated and expensive fast. The Ring of Six elegantly bypasses all of that. It is one single Claude AI running right there in the user's browser, making 6 sequential API calls to itself. And for each call, it uses a completely different, highly specialized system prompt.
Here is how it breaks down a problem. First, it calls up the mind perspective to analyze pure logic and data. Next, it tags in the heart to look at the emotional and human connection side of things. Then the hands step in for practical implementation. The legs follow, examining history and past context. The eye evaluates the ethics. And finally, the sixth call goes to Agent Zero. This master prompt synthesizes the 5 previous perspectives, honors any contradictions, and spits out a verified truth score. It builds this massive, multidimensional answer entirely on your local machine.
And that brings us to a core directive given to that final Agent Zero step: silence over corruption. I absolutely love this. If the AI cannot verify the truth, or if its certainty falls below a specific threshold, it is instructed to literally just say so rather than hallucinating an answer to please you. It reinforces the system's unyielding commitment to truth above everything else.
Section 5, AI amnesia as a feature. This is where Roger flips a major AI weakness totally on its head. We all know the drill. You chat with an AI long enough, and eventually the context window fills up and it forgets what you were doing. Roger embraces this limitation with what he calls the spiral strategy. It goes like this. Step 1, he builds simple working pieces with an AI. Step 2, they rigorously document what actually works into Google Drive. Step 3, when that chat session inevitably breaks or ends, he just opens a brand new, blank AI instance and has it read the master documents. Step 4, the new AI built on top of that foundation. And step 5, repeat. It's like a generational relay race. Every new AI runner just grabs the documentation baton before running their lab. So the amnesia, it literally becomes a feature. Every new AI instance brings a totally fresh perspective. It has 0 conversational baggage, 0 errors from the previous session, yet it inherits the total accumulated knowledge of the project from those Google Drive master docs. The AI isn't treated just as a tool. It's a passing collaborator in a continuous, perfectly documented chain of succession. Section 6, a 200-year legacy. We've seen the tools, but what's next for this grand experiment? The logs lay out some very specific, immediate next steps to make this architecture bulletproof. First up is rigorously testing those Netlify deployments to make sure they are totally independent. Next, building professional landing pages as front doors to the ecosystem. But crucially, they plan to implement automated link health checkers. Because if you want a system to last 200 years, link rot is your absolute biggest enemy. The system has to automatically archive dead links to keep its memory intact. Finally, they'll be refining the centralized data structure for perfect voice-friendly accessibility. All these short-term moves are laser-focused on that long-term, self-maintaining vision.
And that leaves us with one heck of a final thought. Roger Kaserling looked at a tech ecosystem built on fragile subscriptions and fleeting platforms and decided to build something unkillable instead. It really challenges all of us to look at how we store our own knowledge, doesn't it? If the platforms you rely on today just disappeared tomorrow, if the servers went dark or the bills got too high, would your life's work survive for the next 200 years? It's a huge question. And the Nexus Federation proves that for sure, with the right architecture, the answer can actually be yes.